In 2010, filmmaker Sam Rowland and designer Elizabeth Suda had a simple idea: to make a short film about a bracelet made in rural Laos. They created an online funding appeal and enlisted the help of family and friends. 40 days and $7,500 later, they arrived in the heart of Southeast Asia. Project PeaceBOMB pairs artisans who melt bomb metal into bracelets with the distribution network of Article 22, a sustainable fashion company. They call it Buying Back the Bombs. The story of the bracelet is just the beginning. Behind it is the legacy of a secret war. Between 1964 and 1973, the equivalent of one B-52 bomb load showered upon Laos every 8 minutes, 24 hours a day for 9 years. It was a secret to nearly everyone, except those whose lives it changed forever.
I find the Lao people among the gentlest of any people in the world.
I'm married, I have children, I have grandchildren, and when I go out into the provinces and I see the children, and you can think of what they have to deal with day to day. Obviously they're oblivious to it because they're just children, but to have my grandchildren in this situation, I would not stand for it, as I don't think you would.
They value personal relationships and nature more than things, power, money, and technology. I still can't understand how the richest of the species and most technologically advanced of the species could torment the nicest people on Earth, the poorest people on Earth, for no real reason.
When asked about the secret air war in Laos, the senior leaders in America denied that it was happening.
Even I didn't know, living 200 miles away down in the capital city, the bombing was in Pathala. I didn't know about it, let alone Congress of the American people back in America.
The idea from the U.S. forces was to take out everything, scorched earth policy, the villagers, everyone who might be there because they could be an insurgent, they might be a North Vietnamese soldier.
And so the main people we were burning and burying alive and slowly suffocating to death were grandmothers, children, and civilians.
When the planes coming, drop the bomb, and they hide, they sleep on the field. And then after that, the planes go up, and then they would continue to plant rice.
To know that this country was bombed more per capita than any other country in the world leaves me with some conflict. I want there to be peace in the region forever, and yet I realize I was part of a society that waged enormous destruction on this part of the world.
It shook me up on the deepest possible level because it meant everything I had been taught and everything I believed about America wasn't true.
Who were we to believe? Were we to believe some obscure reporter who said this was happening in Laos? Or do you believe the President of the United States and the senators and the Congress people who bought into the party line?
By the mid-1970s, the U.S. had dropped over 200 million tons of bombs. 1 out of every 3 failed to detonate.
Armies historically don't clean up their own messes. They don't rebuild homes or houses. They don't take care of the wounded, and they don't clean up their landmine messes.
Unexploded ordnance, or UXO, continues to affect the people of Laos.
UXO impacts negatively in so many different ways. It will not allow poverty to be reduced. It restricts people to eat, food security. There's obviously the threat of maiming. If the father loses a leg farming, income generation, food generation is gone for that family.
He was 13 years old. He went to correct the discriminators with his teacher and for villagers. They went to the forest and they tried to take apart the bombs, and the bomb exploded, and 5 of them died. Yeah, got injured his eyes and also his cheeks.
Time frame to make sure all of this is gone. I would not want to hazard a guess. It could be decades, it could be a century.
In my lifetime, it's not likely to happen because there are so many of them.
What most horrified me about what happened to the people of Plano Jars is that they were not considered as human beings.
In 2010, the U.S. spent between $5 and $7 million clearing UXO in Laos. The same year, it announced its plan to spend between $110 and $145 million on a new embassy in Vientiane, the capital of Laos. The first convention on cluster munitions was held in Laos in November 2010. England, France, Germany, and Japan have joined the convention and ratified a treaty banning the use of these bombs. But the US, China, Brazil, and other powerful nations still have not.
I think we're a very beautiful species. I think we're capable of tremendous love, tremendous compassion, great beauty, and I'd like to see that persist.
In 1975, a lone man from Huphan province journeyed to the Plain of Jars, a landscape covered with ancient stones and scarred with thousands of bomb craters. He settled in a new village and taught one of his neighbors how to transform bomb scrap metal into aluminum spoons. In 2009, Elizabeth Suda of Article 22 developed the concept of the bracelet with the Napia spoon makers and a Swiss nonprofit called Helvetas.
Everything was destroyed by bombs.
By bombs, the houses or everything destroyed.
They were already doing this. This is their own innovation through their own initiative. But the spoons weren't a product that I felt could be sold on the international market. It's been a really positive experience, and we're talking about other types of products beyond the bracelet that could work for both the local market and the international market.
Helvetas and the Mines Advisory Group conduct trainings to ensure villagers are educated about bombs and safety.
We know that practice will go on, so we're trying to make it as safe as possible.
With each bracelet purchased, Project PeaceBOMB donates funds to cover the cost of clearing roughly 3 square meters of land. Additional donations go into a central development fund managed by the community with the help of Helvetas. So far, villagers have used funds to pay for electricity in communal areas and provided microloans to help families set up businesses.
So he really hoped that you and the project will support villagers in the future.
When a negative can be turned into a positive, it's the yin and the yang.
It's another solution to a problem that we have. And I love the Buy Back the Bombs. It gives people that chance to make some money, feed their family, maybe put them into school, get them an education, further themselves. And it all comes from something that has caused the problem, and that's the key thing.
I think what we should have done is clear, and what is less clear is the path ahead, and that we can forge together collectively.
Call you from my hotel room.